Hello everyone, we're back. We've just put diesel in the 4020 and taken the little Model A up here with the Anderson wrapper, and we're going to get started wrapping all these bales because I think the weather forecast said we had about another hour before the rain comes in. Now at least they are all baled, so it won't matter too much, and they've got net wrap rather than strings, so that will help waterproof them a bit. So we'll be all fine really, but best to get as many done as possible. So we'll get cracking. And obviously the ones in the field here, it doesn't matter putting them on a trailer or anything, we can just round them all up. And if possible, we'll keep all of this batch of bales in one line with the Anderson wrapper, but I know that sometimes sometimes you might need to jump in it and dump all the bales and start the tube again just to avoid the bales becoming a little too lively and flying across the map. Because while the farming simulator physics have improved a lot since the good old days of 2011 and 2013, when anything to do with bales or pallets used to be making a pact with the devil basically in order to just have something not go exploding and flying across the map and out into no man's land. Luckily those days seem to be mainly over now, but there's always a possibility, so we'll be nice and careful. Sometimes it seems to automatically take your bale from you and other times not, so I'm not really sure what that's about. And after spending time counting all the bale numbers earlier today, I've already forgotten what they actually are, so we'll just have to see, I guess. It doesn't really affect us until we start going out with the trailer, and even then in the higher and lower fields we don't have more than a trailer load to pick up, so hopefully I think what I'll do, I'll keep this one here and we'll put the skid steer on that gooseneck, and that skid steer should be able to fit on with all the bales we load up anyway. The 4020 is obviously a bit longer, so don't have quite the amount of room we do. Come on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I haven't had that one before, but these Anderson wrappers, they're really cool, but anything with that kind of integrating all of those bale physics into one thing is going to be a little unstable in Farming Simulator. We got one, two, maybe three left, and then another couple up this end. And that, ideally I wanted it a bit further back, so we might try just to push it back while it's still light enough, having dragged it forward a couple of times. There we go. Just so in future cuts we still maximise the amount of grass we're doing. There we go, and now you see. So how it works is it wraps the first few stationary, and then once they come and touch the ground down here, then they act as an anchor basically, and the machine walks its way back. A bit like how an ag bagger works in real life. if I'm not mistaken. It sort of starts from the back and creeps forward, which is one of the reasons why there's a couple different ag bag and mods for Farming Simulator, and one is just like a fixed silo that you fill up and the bag doesn't change. The other one's much more realistic, but still it works back to front basically, so the bagger stays in one place and the bag gets slid out the back basically, and it's got no collision on it. So it's a really good workaround, but it still doesn't work quite the way it would in real life. So I'm happy after one season of using that early on we switched to the Anderson wrapper. Leaves are coming in on the trees now, so it's looking really nice and spring-like. And then after we've done all this work, we still haven't had any arable contracts in. So I'm still not giving up hope, but we might go back to the forestry anyway. If we don't get any work, and then the next video will be we'll have to move the pigs over, just take the 6 sows out. I think there's 6 now. Their food's still alright, they eat far less than when we had the 100 fattening pigs. Although we will have to start figuring it out as we get more into the summer when they get older. But we'll take them out, put them in this top pen here, and we can start feeding them separately. And then we're planting beans in the top 2 fields, and unless there's contracts, I think that'll then be it until harvest time really. So I mean, if I feel like there's something worth making a video on, I will, but it's quite nice sometimes just to sit down with a YouTube video or TV program in the background and just do some farming off camera. So I probably won't film a lot of contracts, we'll just do them in the background and you can see the money hopefully going up quite a lot, saving up for some of our purchases at the end of this year. And that will be quite a good balance, because this last couple months has obviously been pretty intense for things that progress the farm and can do with filming, like all our planting and just initial setup and the farm showcase, I guess, sort of an introduction to it. Because while we've been going for 10 years, we obviously only started doing the videos fairly recently. But luckily everything's so small that we've got our main fleet. Not much needs upgrading now. So I figured it was a good place to start on videos where we can actually finally start expanding our farm, and we've done the experimentation. And I think that's the last bale on the field, just as it's getting wet, so that's alright. So we'll pop out here. How many did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 bales is that? Can't remember if that lines up with our count. But that's good. We'll hop over here, get the truck, load the skid steer up, and go up to that top field. And we already swapped over and put the pallet forks on it. go. Straps roughly down. So yeah, this shouldn't take long at all really, but it's quite therapeutic for me and maybe a bit long for you guys, so we'll maybe try to chop it up a bit, like how we did with the forestry in episode 2. So catch you when we're all ready to load bales up the top. Right, so we're just going to spin around here. We do have to remember to keep that rotten bale separate. So we'll go pick that up and maybe put it to one side or do it last. Is that nice and lined up? The trailer kind of... There we go. Trailer points slightly uphill, I think. So it's still on a bit of a slope, but it'll do. And yeah, the rain's coming down quite hard now, so I'm really glad we mowed it yesterday rather than this morning, because it would still be being baled now otherwise, probably. I think the skid steer's got enough reach to get these bales at least where they can, if they don't slide off. The ramps are doing funny things to the trailer actually, so we'll pop them up. That's it. That should be a lot more stable. So is that 6 bales plus the ruined one? And what we'll do is we'll probably just keep the ruined one on the skid steer's forks on the trailer, and then as we head down to our lower fields past the biogas plant, we can literally just drive off with the bale still on the fork. Pop a couple straps on to stop anything happening to those. Yeah, we'll just drive this one off the trailer straight away to sell it to the biogas plant. These, I think they're 150 centimetre bales, so anything the 180s are just slightly too heavy for the skid steer really. These work well enough. There we go. And it seems like there were only 5 good bales plus the bad bale on this field, so that's alright. And this skid steer has been pretty good to us, but it is getting old and it's quite small, so I would like to upgrade at some point, but even the cheapest modern skid steer is the base game New Holland for $44,000, I think, which is still quite a lot of money. So I think 40 grand could be better used elsewhere for the next few years. So this one will be slaving away. Already lost all its paint and everything. Now this one here, going to be a bit of a rescue opportunity maybe, but we're just going to stick it right through the net wrap, and it doesn't matter if it gets... You see, it's a bit heavy. Pulling it uphill, plus it's been just like soaked in rain for the last 6 months. There we go. Back on 4 wheels. It's slipping on this ground that's getting a bit wet in the rain. Okay, we'll drop it down and get a better angle. Yeah, we do have the 4020 as a bigger loader tractor now to get some of the heavier stuff and a higher reach than the skid steer can do. So this one, it used to do everything. We used to have to take it round on our trailer to do all the contract bales and everything, but nowadays it's much more a yard thing. Put a strap on that. And hopefully, yeah, that ramp will clear that. Now, to get this one free of the ramp, maybe we should have put that last bale on top there. But I think we can just, yeah, run that so it's almost touching. It'll look a little weird and be top heavy, but okay, that's going to stay there. We're not going very far with it, so it should be alright. We will put the hazards on, along with lights, because the weather's getting more and more miserable. Maybe should have got up an hour earlier. Okay, and what we'll do here is just... we got to remember that the bale wrapper will creep forwards a bit, so I think we'll just leave that there. And we should be able to keep the skid steer on. Undo the straps. And carry on now. We might need to raise the skid steer boom up a bit. There we are. Get some light on as well because it's pretty dingy. And you see the wrapper there kind of steering to one side, so what you can do is, as it's moving, you can hop in and actually change the direction of the wheels there to bring it back in line a bit. Oh, and we've knocked one onto the road there. Hopefully nothing comes along, but it's usually pretty quiet. There's no AI traffic apart from on the main road. And again, we'll just give this a little nudge back that way. It's really hard to see where it's going. There we are. And we should just be able to squeeze through here and spin around to get this bale. Perfect. Okay, so now we just need those bales from the south, and we'll head down to the biogas plant, where I'm pretty sure you can sell conditioned grass. Oh, no, okay, we can only sell it at the livestock bale point. That makes things a bit difficult. We'll just dump this bale here, and we can worry about it another time, because it is raining. We need to get prioritise our good grass. So we'll just dump this here. Well, I say here, I did mean a little more off the trailer than that. Just over here by this fence will do. It's not going to get any worse, really. Now, rolling past here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bales on that side. And is it 4 the other side? Yeah, usually they're quite even, so that works out well. And sometimes we turn around on the grass, but because it's raining, we don't want to chew it up. So we'll try to reverse in. Even though that pillar of the truck cab is really not helpful. There we go, look at that. And we'll go back far enough that we don't have to be going up the slope. Ramp down, and let's get to it. There we are. So we might need to, yeah, we'll push that over from the other side, but I think we'll try to get 3 on the bottom and then 2 on top of that. And then we'll have room to fit the skid steer on, hopefully. And when I said 3 on the bottom, I meant 6 on the bottom, so we have 6 and then 2 in the middle of those on top. yeah, any bigger bales and we'd be struggling a bit with this weight. Now we'll have to sort out these straps here. And there's still a bit of a bump, but not too bad. So we'll undo them and have to just shove this bale. Perfect. That's 4 down, 4 more to go, and it's actually come out sunny again. So we can have a nice evening. This should straighten that bale up a little bit. Still a bit wonky, but it's not like we're going out of state to sell these or anything. It literally is just 2-3 fields up the road. We'll go get that annoying one right in the corner. Which I think there would have been space, but it's something the skid steer's nice and small for. Can wiggle in a lot easier than a tractor to line up. Saying that, we still came in a bit crooked. So we can compensate by also coming in at a bit of an angle here. If we don't clip the corner of the other bale. There we go. So that's our last 2 base bales, and then we'll grab these 2 to put on top. Put the skid steer back on, hold ramps up, and then we'll be back at the yard. I think depth perception is the hardest thing with loading bales in Farming Simulator. You don't really... It's very hard to get a sense of how far you are, especially from the cab view. Oh, and we had that one a little high and put too much weight on the front wheels, so did a donut. Nice and gently with this thing. And I think, yeah, we put the spike in too high, but we should still be able to get it up there. And now we'll just shunt it on a bit. think now the spike's actually too low and we've gone into another bale as well. Okay, there we go, that'll do. Perfect. And might be a bit tight getting this back on, but we should be fine. There we go. Okay, so we're up here, we've just got the first bale off. If you notice, the end of this bale here is wrapped, and the bale snake did start moving out. It went all the way across the road, so I've just dragged it back into position with super strength, but I think it might count that as a separate row now. We'll have to see, but we'll see what it does. I'm not sure whether it'll incorporate it or not. I can't even tell there. Anyway, not many bales left. We just took that one off the top there. And it looks like sun's just getting low, so we finish this in the perfect time, really. We'll see if we can pinch this one from under the skid steer again. Ooh. No, okay, we'll just run this. Oh, and we did end up knocking another bale. We can get this off anyway. Oh, I see, it was actually attached to the skid steer. Well, I guess while this is here, these annoying ones we can actually grab with the skid steer. That'll be easier. It's still small enough to squeeze through. That's going all sorts of wonky. But with the small amount of bales we have left, it doesn't really matter now. Okay, there we go. And yeah, I don't know whether the wrapper's recovered or not in terms of joining that bale back up. It might have. I think it has. So that was just a bit of a texture glitch. That's alright. Because if you use super strength or the bales glitch out slightly too far, then it just separates it and you have to start again. This is just all slightly tight. Put the lights on. I'm going to get this bale at a really dodgy angle. Okay, that's a bit better. But you see what happens here if you park the trailer slightly too close, then the wrapper starts overtaking it basically. Sadly, a bit of a messy way of ending the bale wrapping with all of them falling off, but that's what happens. Should have been a bit more careful. I'm getting quite a nice sunset. So what I'll do after this last bale here is I think we'll get the pallet forks back on the skid steer. Well, first of all we'll load that scrap bale up, and then we'll put the pallet forks on the skid steer, take the greenhouse produce back down to the town, and then we'll sell that bale into livestock sell point, as well as the all of our fresh produce at the diner or bakery or ketchup factory, whatever's paying the best for each one. There we go. But I'll do all of that selling off camera just because it's a bit repetitive and we'll be coming back in the dark anyway. So, once we get this bale off, get that all done, and look at that, marshmallows in the twilight. So if we come in here, I think it's, yeah, R to unload. Going to be a bit of a wonky line, but not too bad, and then that pushes that ram out here. Well, this does have its own lights, quite handy to know. And then X to unfold, and what that does is put the tow bar out in front. And now this does have the potential to move under its own power, but usually it just gets stuck to the ground. It's going downhill okay. But if we can just tip it back enough, what we'll do is get the old John Deere and we'll see if we can just squeeze in and hook up. So we'll pop this all away off camera, get those pallets loaded. It's getting dark really quickly now. So I'll see everyone in the next one, which we'll just see where it goes, but it might well be into May. Catch you all soon.